The day I graduated, my name echoed across a stadium full of strangers. Rows of caps shimmered like waves in the May sun, families cheering, phones flashing, names overlapping in applause. But when my name came, Camila Elaine Reed, Master of Data Analytics, the cheers around me dimmed. The reserved for family seats sat hollow and silver, catching sunlight like mockery. Not one familiar face. No mother waving. No father fumbling with a camera. Just emptiness where love should have been. I smiled anyway. Stretched, rehearsed, almost believable. The photographer snapped, and that shudder felt louder than the crowd. After the ceremony, laughter spilled through the courtyard. Students hugged parents, posed with siblings, clutched flowers. I lingered by a fountain pretending to scroll my phone until my classmate Ruby spotted me. "Camila, you did it," she squealed, dragging me toward her parents for pictures. Her mom pulled me in, beaming. "Your folks must be so proud." "They're on their way," I lied automatically. Years of practice made it sound casual. When the sun dipped low and the crowds thinned, I finally walked to my old Honda. Balloons floated past. Engines hummed. I sat in the driver's seat watching everyone else drive off toward dinners, hugs, and home. I waited one more minute, just in case someone came. No one did. I told myself it didn't matter. They'd skip my college graduation too. Mom said Avery had an exam. Dad never called. There was always a smaller reason, a shinier excuse. I'd been raised to earn affection, not receive it. Every good grade, every double shift, every deposit into their account. It all meant "we love you," in our family's language. When I was 16, I woke before dawn to make lattes for strangers while Mom texted, "Thanks, honey. Avery needs piano lessons." Later it became, "Field trip next week, just a little extra." I sent the money and called it love. Getting into grad school was supposed to change that. I thought a degree would buy their pride, prove I wasn't just the backup plan. But some debts can't be paid with diplomas. 3 days after graduation, the gown still hung by the door when her text came. "Need $200 for your sister's sweet 16. No congratulations." No, how was it? Just a command dressed as a message. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Something inside me, small, brittle, exhausted, finally cracked. I opened my banking app, typed $1, wrote "congrats," and hit send. Then I pulled the spare key from the drawer, the one she insisted on keeping for emergencies, and dropped it into the trash. That night, I called a locksmith. The man worked quietly, tools clinking like wind chimes. When he left, I stood by the new lock, breathing in the scent of metal and oil. For the first time, my home felt mine. The peace lasted until morning. Then came the knocking. It was firm, official, unending. Through the peephole, 2 uniforms. Denver police. "Miss Reed," one said, "we received a call from your mother. She's concerned. Said you've been acting erratically, changed your locks, stopped responding, and might hurt yourself." For a second, I just stared at them. Then I laughed, quiet and disbelieving. They stepped inside when I let them. My apartment was spotless. Coffee mug, laptop open to job applications, diploma framed on the wall. "Do I look unstable to you?" I asked. The officer smiled faintly. "Not even close. We'll note this as no concern." Before leaving, he paused. Sometimes when people start setting boundaries, others mistake it for a breakdown. After they left, I stood against the door shaking. Not from fear, from fury. She hadn't respected a single boundary. She'd weaponized it. For 2 days, silence hung like smoke. Then, while sipping coffee and filling job forms, I checked my bank alerts. 2 new credit inquiries. Capital One. Discover. My chest tightened. I hadn't applied for anything. I opened my credit report and froze. 2 active cards. My name, my social security number, my parents' address. Balances climbing fast. Charges from Cherry Creek Events, Denver DJ Agency, Glam Studio. All dated after that text about Avery's party. It wasn't a coincidence. It was a setup. When I called the bank, a woman's voice turned cautious. "This account was opened in person at our Littleton branch," she said. Co-applicant, Linda M. Reed. My mother. For a long moment, I couldn't move. The fridge hummed. The clock ticked. My world stopped. "Ma'am," the banker continued, "we'll open a fraud investigation. Expect documents within 24 hours. I thanked her, hung up, then opened my phone's recorder. Colorado law allowed one-party consent. This time, She wouldn't twist my words. She picked up on the third ring, her tone sharp. So you're alive. I found 2 credit cards under my name, I said evenly. Both list your address. Want to explain that? Oh, that. She laughed like it was nothing. I was helping you build credit, sweetie. You'll thank me when your score jumps. You forged my signature. Stop dramatizing. It's family money. What's yours is ours. No, I said softly. What's mine is mine. And what's yours is under investigation. Silence. A sharp inhale. You wouldn't dare. I already did. I saved the recording and labeled it Boundaries. May 17th, 2025. The next day, I texted them to meet at a diner halfway between their house and my piece. They showed up 15 minutes late. Mom in a floral dress like she was attending a performance, Dad quiet behind her, Avery glued to her phone. You really dragged us out here for dinner? Mom scoffed. We're not eating, I said. We're talking. When the waitress left, I slid a brown folder across the table. 2 cards, both opened under my name, used for Avery's Sweet 16. Mom didn't blink. Honey, I did it for you. Building your credit. By forging my signature? Don't make this dramatic. You've always been ungrateful. Who paid for your education? I laughed. I did. Every shift, every loan, every dollar you took while telling me Avery needed new shoes. Avery rolled her eyes. Here we go again. I turned to her. That silver dress you wore last week. You danced in it on a card that wasn't yours. Her phone lowered slightly. Mom said you agreed. Enough, Mom snapped. I didn't steal from you. I borrowed for family. You used my identity, I said quietly. You called the police to make me look unstable. That ends today. Dad's voice wavered. Let's just fix this privately, sweetheart. No, I said, pushing the folder toward them. The bank already knows. They have your signature and phone number. There's an active fraud case. The color drained from her face. You reported me? I reported the truth. Her eyes flashed. You'll regret this. You're tearing this family apart. No, I said, standing. You did that the moment you decided my name was worth more than my love. I left the cash for coffee on the table and walked out into the rain. That night, Cherry Creek glittered with lights for Avery's Sweet 16. I wasn't invited, but I didn't need to be. Around 8:45 p.m., my phone rang. Miss Reed, a voice said, professional and calm. This is Lauren Stein from Capital One. Our fraud team is verifying transactions tonight at Cherry Creek events. Local law enforcement will be documenting the charges. I thanked her and ended the call. Through my window, faint music floated across the city. A celebration about to collapse. 40 minutes later, a text from Avery. Are you insane? Police just showed up. Mom's freaking out. Everyone's staring. They said your name. What did you do? I didn't answer. Justice doesn't need an audience. At the venue, officers stepped into the hall, quiet but unmistakable. The banker followed, folder in hand. Good evening, one officer said evenly. We're verifying a report of credit fraud. Transactions under the name Camilla Reed. Gasps rippled through sequined guests. Cameras lifted. My mother's voice shook. There must be a mistake. The banker read aloud. Primary applicant Linda M. Reed. Co-signer unauthorized. Someone whispered. Isn't that her daughter's name? Avery's face crumpled. Mom, what did you do? The officer remained calm. No arrest tonight, ma'am. Just documentation for the bank's case. Flashbulbs flared. The banner, Avery's Sweet 16, born to shine, sagged under humidity. The music died. Guests trickled out. My mother stood frozen as rain began to fall outside. From my apartment window miles away, lightning cracked above Denver. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I simply breathed. For once, silence wasn't emptiness. It was justice. 3 days later, an email arrived. Fraud investigation resolved. Primary applicant Linda M. Reed acknowledges unauthorized use and agrees to repay $8,412 in full. No apology. No excuses. Just the truth in black and white. News spread fast in Littleton. Whispers filled grocery aisles and church pews. Did you hear about the Reeds? Something with the bank and the party. Avery's party video, 30 seconds of flashing lights and police, hit 500,000 views before she locked her accounts. I didn't respond to any of them. Not from anger, from peace. I'd spent years trying to explain boundaries to people who profited from breaking them. I was done. I froze my credit, closed every shared account, filled out the federal forms, and printed one final letter confirming it was over. I pinned it beside my diploma and the locksmith's receipt. 3 proofs: effort, protection, freedom. That night, I opened my window to the Denver night. The air smelled of wet pavement and possibility. For the first time, the quiet didn't sting. It healed. 6 months later, fall painted the city gold. I'd started at a data firm downtown. People who knew me for my work, not my wallet. On my wall hung 3 things: my diploma, my employee badge, and the old broken lock. Together, they told one story: how I finally chose myself. If you've ever had to set a boundary just to breathe again, you're not alone. Tell me where you're watching from, so I know how many of us finally changed the locks.